Hey there guys, and welcome back to Dark Souls 2. In the last video we made our way to Majula and we looted the small town and got the items, joined a couple covenants and got some items, as well as a ring that restores or that increases our maximum HP slightly. We also got an Estus Flask shard, and we got our Estus Flask also. And we also upgraded our Estus Flask, so now we have 2 uses. Alright, so we're about to move on to the next area, but first we need to get a couple things before leaving. First of all, let's head back to the armor shop, which is the house over here on the left side of town by the hole. At the back of this shop is a ladder you can climb. So go ahead and climb up the ladder to find a chest. Open up the chest to get a Titanite shard. Now Titanite shards allow you to upgrade your weapons or armor or shields. A Titanite shard is the lowest upgrade part. So when you start upgrading your items, we can't right now because we have to open up the blacksmith door. But whenever we do start upgrading our items, you upgrade your items from +1 to +3 or 4 with Titanite shards, and then you go from +4 to +6 using large Titanite shards. Then you go from +6 to +9 using Titanite chunks, and finally +10. To get from +9 to +10, you need a Titanite slab. Certain items with name brand items, is what we call them, need a special kind of Titanite called Twinkling Titanite. Or certain equipment is upgraded with petrified dragon bones. But the basic equipment upgrades with Titanite shards, large Titanite shards, and Titanite chunks and slabs. So that's a free Titanite shard for the taking. Also, before we leave, if you look down that big hole, we can't do anything with it yet, but just reference this for later. If you look down this big hole here, you'll see that there's items that can be got down there. Now, in order to get down there, we're going to need that silver cat ring that can be purchased from the cat inside here, which reduces falling damage. Also, you're going to want to have HP over 900. I think it's like 950 or higher to survive the fall with the silver cat ring equipped. So just reference this for later. You can actually, if you find a certain NPC, you can move him back here to Majula, and then you can purchase a ladder from him, which will allow you to go down there using a ladder. But that's not till way later in the game. So just reference that for later. Before we move on, there's one more thing we need to grab. If you head back the way you came, you'll notice that there's some vines and a really narrow path ahead. If you head through these vines and follow the narrow path, you'll come to some ruins. Head directly straight through the ruins, and ahead you'll find a guy with a sword. A pretty badass sword at that. If you want, you can talk to him.
Business with me. The way yonder is all blocked up, you see, by this god-awful statue. Heavens above! Who thought it a good idea to put it there? Oof, I'm in quite the pickle now. See that statue? Gives me the willies. You stare at it for long enough, it starts to look alive. It just doesn't seem quite right. There are no craftsmen round these parts. Hey, you don't think a real live person was turned to stone, do you? See that statue? Hey.
Alright. So if you talk to that guy a couple times, he'll tell you of a statue blocking the path ahead. Now, we can't do nothing about that for now, but directly behind him is a corpse you can loot for 3 life gems and 3 homeward bones. So after you grab them, we can go ahead and head back to Majula. And we can move on to the next area. Alright, so there's actually several different paths you can take which lead to different areas. So I'm going to be doing this walkthrough based on the toughness of the enemies in each area. This is probably the way that you should go because the enemies are the weakest this way. So we're going to go this way first. Directly to the left of the bonfire on the side of the cliff is some ruins that you can head into. So go ahead and enter these ruins, and this is the path that's going to take us to the Forest of the Fallen Giants. So as soon as you enter the ruins, if you turn right and backtrack a little bit, you'll find a chest. Go ahead and open that chest and loot the rusted coin inside of it. Continue down the path and you'll find a closed door, so head to the left and pull the lever to the right. This will open up the gate in front of you. Now you need to be quick and run through this gate before it shuts, or you'll have to pull the lever again. If you need to go back for some reason, you'll have to pull the lever on the other side. Alright, so let's go ahead and follow the path. You'll come to a bridge. Go ahead and cross it and turn left. And walk across the narrow wooden planks to find a chest. Go ahead and loot that for a human effigy. Now you'll see a corpse with an item in the distance. Now you need to be careful here because if you walk straight off the rock, you'll die. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do a sprint jump. So start running and then jump, and you should be able to make it across. Go ahead and loot the item for a homeward bone and a soul of a lost undead. Now all you have to do is follow the river to reach the Forest of the Fallen Giants. Alright, so whenever you enter this area, be very careful. Now that we have a shield, things are going to be a lot easier. And by the way, enemies are going to start dropping items, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. They usually drop life gems, or sometimes they'll drop their armor, which is what I really need right now because I don't have any armor. Alright, so let's go ahead and take these guys out. Alright, across the stream is a corpse by a tree. Go ahead and loot that for a life gem. And just a little further up to the right is a bonfire. The first bonfire of the area. So let's go ahead and light that up and rest. Remember, each time you rest, you respawn the enemies in the area. So let's backtrack and kill this guy first. Alright, so slowly continue ahead because there are multiple enemies here, as well as an archer. So So slowly lure them back. Cross over the logs and you'll find another undead swordsman. After taking him out, go ahead and take out the sniper. And before you go up any further, if you head back down and follow the stream, you'll see that there's an item at the end of the path. But be careful of this guy playing dead right here. Go ahead and strike him. That way he doesn't sneak up behind you when you're picking up the item. Loot the item for a soul of a lost undead. Now we can continue up the path. And climb the ladder. Make sure to be careful not to get surrounded. Oh, they got me. Wow. Yeah, it sucks not having any armor on. Yeah, you need to be very careful not to get surrounded by these guys because they're pretty deadly. And this is the undead look of the game. As you can see, I went from being a human to a ugly ass undead guy. Alright, so let's go ahead and take these guys out again. You can actually scroll farm here as well. It wouldn't be a bad idea because every level counts. Gotta get rid of this dagger. This dagger has like no range. Alright, again, after clearing them up, let's head up the ladder this time. Now you might die a couple times here, but don't worry, because it will get easier. And eventually, once you clear out the area of enemies, it will get a lot easier. Also, if you do die, make sure to recover your corpse, or else you're gonna lose all your souls. After you take out the enemies, go ahead and loot the corpses here. Now you'll notice that there's a big white knight here, and actually if you kill this guy you can get a very nice sword. So loot the corpses here for a human effigy and 2 life gems. Watch out for the guy with the bow above. after you take out the enemies on the ground and loot the corpses, climb up the ladder, but be very careful because just up the steps are 2 enemies, and fighting them in an enclosed space like this can be deadly, especially if your weapon hits the wall. Be very careful because each time your weapon hits the wall, you lose a lot of durability. So if you hit the wall too many times, your weapon will break, and if it breaks, you're not going to be able to do any damage with it. Alright, so after taking out those guys, let's go ahead and drink the Estus flask. Alright, so from here, carefully go across the ledge and hug the outer wall to find a corpse with a soul of a nameless soldier on it. Then carefully drop down and follow the path to find the archer. Go ahead and defeat him, and then sprint jump across the gap to find another corpse that contains a short sword and a soul of a lost undead. Finally, we have a better weapon. So the short sword, if you're using the dagger, I would highly suggest to equip that short sword. Oh, why can't I equip it? Oh, I need 10 dexterity. Then jump back across the way. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and head back to the bonfire. And again, if you want, you can take out this white knight, but he is pretty powerful. So I'll show you how to take him out in just a second. First, we need to get that weapon, that better weapon. So let's go back down the ladder and head back to the bonfire. Here we can fast travel back to Majula. You can talk to the Emerald Herald to level up. I'm going to go ahead and get my dexterity up to 10 so I can use that short sword. Alright, now that we've done that, let's go back to the Fallen Giant Forest. Now that we got a short sword that we can use, it's going to be a whole lot easier because we have a little bit of extra range. That dagger